Welcome again to Radio with Pictures, where we say, here are the women. Women who are diverse, strong, resourceful and resilient. Who are these women? Well, here are four of them. Fane Bosewanga. Fane is our convener correspondent based in Tavua, but covering Rakiraki, Tavua and Naumba. Thanks for joining us, Fane. We have Pushpa Manu. Pushpa is the president of the Akriti Mothers Club in Vudi Nosori. We have Sarema Damuni, who is from the Diverse Voices in Action for Equality, or DIVA. And we have Titaku Tabueriki from the Bokonikai Women's Group in Rambi. And it's a very special hello and welcome to you in particular for joining us on Radio with Pictures.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okie dokie, we're going to start by taking a look back at Tropical Cyclone Winston. And I'm going to start with you. What was your experience like in Rambi? How bad was it? Were you able to prepare well? I know you're busy looking after the network of women. What was the experience? And also previous experiences as well.
Thank you, Sharon. The last TC Winston, we thank God that it's not really damaging our place. And even if we didn't have a weather forecast or any message for this cyclone, but we thank our families in Suva. They contact us through telephone, mobiles. So I be able to contact my neighbors that there's a cyclone coming, maybe midnight or early in the morning, like that. And for my preparation, I told my son to cut down all the cassava, so it won't uproot it. And also, I cook plenty of breadfruit, as we had a lot of breadfruit on the
Yes, it's been
the
breadfruit season, yeah.
So I cook more than enough for the family. So we stayed until the next morning, and we feel the strong, winds coming. But we prepared everything. Our clothes and our stuff, we packed them in one bags,
yeah.
and we put them on the bed so it won't. If there's any leakage in the house, they are safe.
Do you have an evacuation center on the island, or evacuation centers? If things got really bad, where would the community go?
They always go to the church, and there's a hall for the church. There's a hall and
The main church and the church hall.
Yes, and and some they just stayed in their house, thinking that their house is safe and strong.
Was there any severe damage on the island?
No severe damage. We are thankful that we have no severe damage. Compared to the last Cyclone Thomas in 2010, there are more than 20 houses fell in the whole of Rambi. And still now they haven't built those houses that have been, the materials have been sent to Rambi, but still they finished they're doing the foundation already, and we don't know who are going. The army, they're going to build it, but they still haven't. When I came, they haven't been to the island.
Okay, so if it's taken 5 years or more to recover from the last cyclone, we can imagine across Fiji how it's going, what the pace of recovery will be. Sarema, how did you and your family, your community, the DIVA network prepare?
I was thankful that Nolene was able to contact us, and I was able to contact my other LBT friends. In regards to Winston, my DIVA colleagues were down at the West.
Yes, they were.
Yes, they were doing workshops to the LBT communities. And then this was the week that Winston hit it. So from doing the workshop, they just switched to trying to help with straight after the cyclone on that day, so they were able to help out with the LGBT communities down in the west.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's been really important to have them out there in the west as well,
Yes.
particularly in Lautoka. But I do remember telling Shirley, you're not driving back to Suva. Pushpa, you know, we in the Central Division, a lot of us were thankfully spared the devastation. But how have you prepared in the past, or what lessons did you learn from past experiences that you put in place for Tropical Cyclone Winston?
Well, Sharon, it was in '93. I was a girl from Suva. I'm married to in Nassori, and you know Suva is such a place there. It's hardly flooding. So when I was in Nassori, it was in '93. After Cyclone Kina, the very next day, it was a sunny day, bright day, and all of a sudden we had a flood. So I was totally lost, but still I remembered what my mother and my mother-in-law used to tell me. If anything happens, we have a particular place in our ceiling, so we packed out everything, and then that same experience and same thing I did just in this hurricane, because I was my brother from New Zealand was warning me, get prepared, it's coming, get prepared, it's coming. So I was really prepared this time.
So it's interesting that you talk about these houses, the old farmhouses, you know, Vudi being an old farming area that had this kind of storage, not really an attic, but because I remember talking to women in Vunimoli in Lambasa after the floods in 2004, and they said we just gathered everything and packed it up in the house. So maybe that's one of the things we should be thinking about in the future, the way we build our homes. That can make sure that we have this kind of storage,
It's very helpful, very helpful. You can store everything, depends how you build it.
Yes.
It's in the ceiling, you should have a gap, and then it's very easy.
Put everything in there.
And it's safe.
Yes. Now, Fane, Tavua, Raki, our communities in Ba have been hit very badly. And you and I were in conversation from the Sunday onwards. What did you see that requires, most urgent attention?
Yes, Sharon, just taking it back before the cyclone, like we were in touch, the importance of sharing of information, I guess that was what went really well before the cyclone, as women were prepared themselves well in terms of before the cyclone. So when weather bulletin was being sent through the text message, I was able to share that amongst the women in the community, in the district of Tavuamba and Raki, and that was able to be sent out before the cyclone.
Great, and we've been able to continue to document.
Yes.
So after the break, when we come back, we're going to use the stories from women to make recommendations for national development. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us on Radio with Pictures. Now I'd like to share this quote from Sashi Mani. She's actually from Suva, but she was interviewed for FemTalk 89 FM, and she said that sometimes doctors aren't available and the nurses are there to diagnose the patients, and this may be due to the shortage of staff who are working in the medical services. So we need more specialized and skilled staff. That's Sashi talking in Suva. Health sector, you've been saying, Sitaku, is a priority for you and your community in Rambi. What is the health service you'd like to see delivered to you in 5 years' time?
Thank you, Sharon. If the health department can deliver medical well source equipment for medical in case of emergency. And as health in CEDAW 12, it says that
There's a specific
yes.
article on women's health.
yes.
So what does women's health priorities in Rambi, and I'm sure the others will agree in other communities, what needs to be better when it comes to women's health? Is it just anti and postnatal care, or is there more that needs to be done?
In our village, we are really isolated. It takes 1 hour 15 minutes to reach the health center, and about 20 kilometers to the health center. So in case of pregnant women, if they want to go for medical checkup, they have to go on the truck, and some challenges they face, like poor road.
And that's that one truck that takes everybody around, yes?
yes.
The children
Yes.
to school.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one 6-ton truck which takes school children first to the high school. We have 110 school children, high school, and then comes back, get another 40 children to the primary school. Then the next load, all these community.
So anyone that wants to go anywhere
Yes.
else, including
Pregnant women and
the elderly.
elders, disabled.
Yes.
So it's very hard for us for our community to go to the health center in case of emergency.
But it's also the access, getting to the hospital or the health center, and then the supply, the provisions, how the health center is managed and equipped. Yes?
Yes, sometimes, most of the time, they are run out of medical, like tablets and.
And if you need any supplies, it's all the way from Lambasa Hospital that
Yes.
needs to get through to
Yes.
Rambi. Thank you so much, Sitaku. Sarema, for the Sogi community, is health important? I mean, health is important to everyone, but is there a specific need that you want to see in terms of national development?
Yes, in terms of national development, it is important for LBT women to be receiving this. Their health is important because most of them are sports women, and it's important that their well-being are being taken care of, and their mentality, how they think, how they prepare themselves for this kind of things. Yeah. So for us, we've been for Diva, we've been doing our workshops, inviting these LBT women who play sports to come and attend SRHR workshops and well-being workshops, just to help them understand that it's important for them to look after their body, because they're LBT and also they are women. So yeah.
So in terms of the national development priority, what would you like to see in 5 years' time?
I would like to see that there are more women what can I say?
Women-friendly services, more
Yes.
inclusive services?
Yes, because some of these girls, like because of their identity, they are shy or to come into this kind of spaces. So, and I want that they have safe spaces to create for them.
So there's a recognition, once again, of diversity,
Yes.
that we're not all able-bodied, heteronormative,
Yes.
that services must be delivered, must be reaching us, regardless of how far we live from the main center or who we are, as a person. Pushpa, in terms of the 5 years, what would you like to see for our country? What's your vision for the 5 years?
Sharon, you were talking about health. Just during this hurricane, Nosuri Health Center has been closed. Sickly people have to be moved to Vunivivi Hill. So next 5 years, we need dispensaries in communities, well-trained doctor and a nurse.
And this is not the first time we're hearing this on this
Yeah.
season of Radio with Pictures. We heard it earlier also from Anna. So invest at local. Health, subdivisional and divisional level as well. Fun as you reflect back on what's happened in the community from Winston, what's that one thing that we should be doing in the next 5 years as part of national development planning?
Yes, Sharon, I think we should focus in the next 5 years. I hope we would look at infrastructure, like we've heard from Rambi Island and also from Nosor in regards to health security. I think that is important because in regards to infrastructure, I'm looking at roads and also the access to transportation, especially for women. So like most of the women in our local district access to the marketplace. So I'm looking at the market vendors in terms of the natural disaster, like the one we just had recently. There was accessibility to services in town, hospitals, to the supermarkets was limited in terms of infrastructure projects. Yeah.
And where do women fit in terms of decision making? Can national development planning happen without women or without equal participation of women?
Just on that, like I've highlighted, I think that is important, the involvement of women in decision making. If women can manage in the home, it is possible. They should be included. They should be included at all decision making levels, especially at the development plan. Women should be included to make the decision in terms of development at the national level.
What's the support that's needed, Pushpa, from women's role in, often being seen as, well, you're just the housewife and you're running a little club? What's the change in mentality that's needed to say, you're a leader?
See, Sharon, before, with the time in olden days where we women always think, oh, our place is in the kitchen. No, it's all changing now. We have to change our mindsets first, then we can change men. But that's what we are doing.
And that's what we're going to talk about after the break. What are women doing for you in your communities? Welcome back to Radio with Pictures, where we're talking to diverse, strong, resourceful and resilient women. So I want to come back to you, Sarema. Talk a little bit about this sports program that you're involved with. You're a rugby player.
Yes.
How long have you been playing rugby? And
I've been playing rugby since 2003, and I'm still playing now. But right now I'm not active because I haven't been attending training. So
Okay.
yeah, for us, women's rugby, they're selecting an extended squad, 15th women's team for the World Cup that is next year in Ireland. So they'll be having qualifiers this year in June.
And are you planning to be part of the squad?
Yes.
And to head to Ireland for the World Cup?
I'd love
So is
to
this
be one of them.
Women's Rugby World Cup?
Yes, and in terms of sevens, we've achieved a great achievement, because I could say, I'm proud to say that we are the first women's team to represent Fiji in the Olympics. So yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Indeed. Do you get enough support?
Yes, but from previous years we didn't get enough support when we started, because of the discrimination we used to face, and because the comments that used to come from the public saying, oh, you need to go home, you belong to the kitchen. But then I'm thankful to these girls that they've improved, and what the FRU has done, the development they've done to the women's team has greatly improved. So we are not receiving any negative comments from the public. We are receiving positive comments, and that's a good thing that's been happening. And also, yeah, we are really aiming for these Olympic Games.
I know, all the best to the team. But I want to ask you, you took up rugby in 2003.
Yes.
If you had a chance, or as you think about girls in school now, in primary school, in secondary school, How can we be getting more girls to be supported to start if they want to play rugby, if they want to play soccer? How do we get them, because
Oh,
that
yes,
training starts
we've
early.
implemented, there's this group that's going up to school, they call GIR, to introduce rugby to young girls from primary level to secondary school. And right now they have secondary schools games that's going on.
Okay,
Yes.
and obviously the support of Diva and groups
Yes.
like Diva have been really important for you and
Yes.
your teammates. And how can that, this outreach that Diva is now starting to do obviously will be really important
Yes.
to work beyond the capital city.
Yes.
Excellent. Sitaku, I want to come back to you also because you make some amazing handicraft in Rambi, and you also do the traditional tops. How can we, in terms of women's economic empowerment, women's role in the economy, how can the work that you're doing already be scaled up? What's the support that you need?
Thank you, Sharon. The support that I need for the women in our community is market. They need a market because at the moment they are skillful women, but they don't have markets. They just have the buyers from the village. That's the workers, government workers, and also going to Savu, taking their products to Savu, they'll cost $80 for the boat from village
For one
to Karoko.
person.
The hire of the boat from Bokonkai to Karoko. In Karoko to Savu, it will be $9. So back, it will take them $169. They'll spend. So maybe it's if they have small products, less products, they spend more on the cost, transportation than
and often not selling.
no.
So we were talking in an earlier episode that the Bulileka women make the products from Kuta, and one of the things that they do need is the training so that it can become part of that Buy Fiji Made campaign. Is that the kind of support you need, the training, or is it come buy our products and take it? We don't have to come keep selling at the market.
Yeah, I think they need that one, training and buying of products.
So that there is not just the physical market, but the market of sale, having handicraft sales, yeah?
Yes, and another thing too, if they have a resource center in the village, it can be made as a dispensary too, part of it dispensary, part of it the women's center where they come together and share their knowledge and skills to each other so they can uplift each other's standard of living.
Thank you so much for these ideas. So coming back to you, Pushpa and Fane, we're hearing about some of the amazing work that women have been doing, not just in recent times, but over our mothers' times, our grandmothers' time. But what are the challenges, or why do we still have these challenges of participating in decision making? So how can we upscale women not only in the projects that they're doing, but also in their leadership? What needs to change?
Sharon, I think we women should change, because in my community, in my group, I have changed quite a lot. Quite a lot has been changed. So just by dialogue with our male counterparts, we can change them too.
So you're not talking about physical change or our attitude, but the change that empowers us as leaders.
As leaders.
Yeah? So we don't have to change what
No,
we're
no,
doing,
no.
but we need that change to help us.
Help us, yeah. Now in my group, we have about 10 women. All of them, they've got their own personal bank accounts, which myself and when Pauline was here, we talked about it, and then we started off. They've got quite a lot.
So women are starting to generate their income and save.
They are sort of, some of my members, they have the little farms, backyard gardening, whatever they use it, and leftovers they just sell it, even the chickens. That's how they make the money, and they just
So you're talking about political security,
Yeah.
that political support as well as the economic
economic
support.
support.
Fani, you're saying yes?
Yes, just a good idea she has brought, Pushpa, and also hearing from the Rambi women that the skills that they have, just linking together with the savings that women are doing. I think women are making the change in terms of within the family. It's not only that they are being skillful, it's also that they are making savings to help in supporting the family financially. And also, why don't women be recognized in taking up leadership roles? Because they have the skills and they can do the savings.
So why aren't they being recognized? Why aren't we getting the equality in decision making that there's a commitment to it? Sarema?
I think there's not enough vocal, what can I say, like to push for this. Like we need to push for
So we
more
need
women.
to amplify.
Yes.
Okay, on that note, we're going to keep amplifying that we need equality in decision making. Thank you so much for joining us on Radio with Pictures, and we look forward to your company on the next episode.